Hi. Hello, Tao. Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sorry, I'm late.
okay. Yeah. So you forgot. So you just came from work.
No, I'm at home already, but I'm just finished my dinner, our dinner. Yes,
Okay. So that would be it. Okay. Anyway, let's proceed now with our lesson, Tao.
yes,
Yeah, okay. So let me share my presentation first for a while.
mm,
Okay. Okay, so I hope you can see it, Tao. Can you see
yes,
the
I did
presentation? Yeah.
already.
Okay, so before we have to move on to our new lesson today, Sao, let's try to have
Mm,
first a review of our lesson last time, okay? Now, when we are going to give reason for a particular situation, so what word or joining words we will be going to use. So if it is
so,
situation, so we have to use so,
so, and
right? If it is situation first, followed by a reason, so we have to use
because,
because. Okay? Okay, so do you have any questions so far with this? How? Atao? No more.
yes.
Okay, so yes, so let's proceed. So maybe you can be able to understand information about
Mm,
travel, right?
yes,
Yes, of course you can. And then ask polite questions, you can.
yes,
And give reasons for situations, you can also
yes,
do that. Okay, so without further ado, Tao, let's move on to our Unit 10, which
mm,
is the weather is changing. So this one is a very good timing. Why? Because the weather now is changing. What about in
yes.
Vietnam? Is your weather also changing there in Vietnam?
Changing into the rainy season.
Oh, rainy season is there. Here in
No,
the
now just the will be change the series the rainy season in about 3 weeks.
oh, okay. So from is it summer there and then after that rainy season?
Yes.
Oh, here in the Philippines, we are now experiencing summer. It's going to be hot.
Oh, still summer. Uh,
Yes.
oh.
So we feel the heat of the sun, especially in the during the noontime. Okay,
Mm.
during noontime, it's going to be very, very hot actually. Okay,
Uh,
that's why the weather is changing actually here
mm,
from starting this January, February, March. No, starting from February, March, April up to May will be summer in here. And
mm,
then after that one, by June, it's going to be rainy season again. So that would
mm.
be it in here. Okay? Now,
Yes.
before we have to listen and speak, we will be going to match the picture to the word in here, south. Okay, number one is given. So letter A is no. What about letter B? What
Stop.
about flood? So flood is
Let,
letter.
letter E.
Okay, the
And
flood is
let's see.
letter C. Yes. Okay, so that's going to be letter C. When we
Mm,
say drought,
brown. I don't know the brown.
okay.
Brown letter E.
Yes. Okay. When we say drought, that means dry season.
Mm, mm.
Okay. Next, cyclone.
Sakura, I don't hear sir.
Yeah, okay. Cyclone means, okay, I have to write it in here, huh? So when we are talking about cyclone, it's going to be a storm, okay? So stormy weather. So there is the so-called ty typhoon, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah, so there would be strong wind if
Mm.
there
Mm.
is a cyclone. It's a
Oh.
stormy weather, and there would be a typhoon. Typhoon. So that would be letter
B.
yes. So that's letter B. When we say storm,
Storm.
yeah. So
Lightning.
yeah, that's letter D. So you can hear the storm and thunder, right? So that's letter
Mm.
D. And then heat wave,
Grade F.
it's letter F actually. Okay, good.
Mm.
Okay, now, are any of these weather conditions a problem in your country? Okay, which particular problem in your country, Tao, okay, that you are facing every year?
Ah, is there float?
Oh, flood. Okay. So it's also
Yes,
flooding in there. Wow.
yes,
Same in the Philippines. Okay.
yes.
Aside from that,
The drought.
drought. Drought
Yes,
also.
in the
Okay.
middle of our country.
But what about in your city?
No.
Okay. Oh, that would be nice.
Uh,
Okay.
um, cyclone.
Oh,
Cyclone
so
is
there's also a
also
cyclone in there. Oh,
storm.
yeah. So it's not also, it's the same also in the Philippines.
Yes.
But I don't know if in Vietnam you are experiencing snow. Do you experience snow
No,
in
no,
Vietnam?
no.
No.
Rarely
Say,
in the high mountain or in the north of our country.
uh, yeah, but not in the city, right? But
Yes,
it's
that's
just
right.
only in the high mountain. Oh,
Yes.
actually, here in the Philippines, we do not experience totally, even if it's in the mountain.
Mm,
No snow that we can be able to see in here in the Philippines. Okay, because our country is a tropical country. So when we are
mm,
talking about tropical, that means we can experience a lot of weather conditions. Okay?
mm, mm.
Okay. So, do you have any questions so far with this, Tao?
No, no.
No. Now, let's proceed. Let's try to listen to the beginning of a radio program about global warming. Okay, so when we say, before we have to discuss this one, Sao, what do you think would be a global warming all about? Okay,
Yes.
so when you say global warming, what do you think would be this one, Tao? Uh, okay, so when you say global warming, that means on your own point of view.
The weather is hot. Is hot.
Yes, becomes
Is hot.
hotter,
Yes.
right? So, yes, so this is what we call weather. Okay, becomes hotter. Okay,
Mm,
so it will be going to be very hot, not just only in a particular year, but it's going to increase every year, right? So there
mm.
would be an increase of hotness every year. So that is what we call global warming. Now, what do you think would be, Tao, the reasons why we are experiencing global warming?
Uh,
What do you think would be on your own understanding before we have to discuss the following problems? So, what do you think would be the reason why we are experiencing global warming?
Actually, I know that about it, but I don't know how the word in English
Ah,
to express my idea.
okay. Okay.
Because
Ah,
this subject is not familiar with me.
oh, okay, okay. Yeah,
Yes.
because during our time there is no global warming, right?
Yes.
We don't experience global warming before because before we can feel what is the cold, right? The cold, but now it's going to be very hot, okay? But
Mm,
actually, reasons like throwing, okay, throwing garbages, okay, actually okay, can create also or can also add global warming conditions. So throwing our garbages and then
Air
uh,
pollute from
yes,
industry in
yes,
industry.
that's correct. So anything that can be a pollution, okay? So that can also give actually the number one factor of having a global warming
Yes,
now
yes,
because of the pollution, okay? Because of the pollution that we are creating, that's why the well, it is one. The rays of the sun, okay, because there is the so-called UV rays, right? The ultraviolet rays. That ultraviolet rays coming from the sun, okay, is very hot because it is directly directed to to the earth. Okay, and no one already this particular sheet that trap the UV rays of the sun has already been there is the so-called what is one there is it's already broken, so there is a small hole already, okay, that particular sheet of the earths, okay, that traps the UV rays coming from the sun, so it's already been damaged. So that's why we directly we directly what is one experience the heat of the sun. Okay. It is because of that pollution. So that pollution becomes a gas, and that gas will going to evaporate, going above, right? So that gas can be able to destroy this particular sheet that traps the UV rays of the sun. So if ever all nations, let's say for example, in the Philippines, there's a lot of garbage in here, there's a lot of factories in here, and then also in Vietnam, also in United States, and all of the countries. So if ever all of those were going to what is one to have a pollution or a smoke coming from the factories, so it is directly above and
yes,
create that one. Okay, so
yes.
that would be it now. Okay, so let's try to listen now to the beginning of the radio program about global warming. Then after that, we have to check the weather conditions in Get Ready that are mentioned. Okay, so let's try to listen. Okay, just for a moment. So that's 66. Okay.
Recording 66.
Global warming has made the news again, and it's all because of this hot weather we're having. Britain is experiencing a heat wave this summer, and it's causing numerous problems. It's difficult to work, it's difficult to sleep, and it's causing health problems too. It's not a little problem, it's serious. 100 people have died in the last few months. The weather is changing. Temperatures above 30 degrees are becoming more common. But it's not just here that temperatures are rising. The rest of Europe is experiencing the hottest summer in 115 years. The weather is getting warmer everywhere, and in Antarctica, the ice is melting. Experts say temperatures around the world are rising, and we can expect them to continue to rise by about 5 degrees in the next 100 years.
Mm.
The Earth is getting hotter. And there are other climate changes happening around the world. We've heard about the floods in India and the fires in the United States. In the South Pacific, there were more cyclones this year than last year. And they're getting bigger. So what's causing all this? Are these changes due to global warming? Are we causing these problems? Some experts say temperatures are rising because we are causing too much pollution.
Yes.
Others say it is part of a natural cycle and we aren't doing anything to cause it. Either way, what can we do about it? These are the topics we'll be discussing on the programme today.
Okay.
Mm.
So, what do you think would be the problem that are mentioned, Tao, in this activity that we had? So, actually, there are three problems mentioned in there, right? So, the first one,
Mm.
it was mentioned about the, okay, heat
The
wave, right? So, it was mentioned in there about the
the
heat.
hot weather.
Yeah, it's the heat wave. It's because of maybe because of this particular this one letter F, right? So it was mentioned in there that it's going to be very hot. So there would be a heat wave striking on Earth. Okay. Then aside from that, another problem that the world is facing is the flood.
Mm.
Right? Okay. So the flood can also give problems. Okay. So it can be a problem that we are facing at this point in time. And the last that was mentioned in there is
Pollution.
is all about cyclone.
Cyclone.
Yes. So these are the three problems that was mentioned in there. Okay. And the question in here is why is it there would be this heat wave, flood, and cyclone? So what's the reason? Actually, it was mentioned there that the first or the number one cause of this particular problem that we are facing is pollution.
Mm.
Right, Sal? Okay. Now let's try to answer this particular notes in here. So let's try to complete this particular notes. Okay, would you like to listen it again, Sal, or can we answer it now?
No, we can answer right now.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So according to the audio, so the problem in Britain is
Mm.
a hot weather that is causing problems with letter
Work.
A is given, that would be work, then sleep.
Good.
And then what about the letter B?
Health. Health.
Yes. So it can be a health problem. Then 100 people have,
Die.
yes, so 100 people have died. Okay, temperatures above 30 degrees are becoming more
Common.
common. Good. Okay. So it's very common. Then around the world, Europe is having the hottest summer in,
150 years.
yes, so that would be 115 years. Or
Mm.
imagine that one, Tao, right? So
Mm.
if this particular problem has not been solved, so imagine the world. Okay, imagine our Earth uh maybe additional 10 years from now,
Mm.
right? Okay. In Antarctica, the ice now is melting, right? So the temperatures will rise by 5 degrees Celsius in the next,
100 years.
yes, so in the next 100 years, so it will going to increase to 5 degrees Celsius. And in letter G, what?
Flood. Flood.
Yes. Okay, floods.
Flood.
Yes, so floods in India. So there are floods in India, right? Fires in the United States. More,
Cyclone.
Yes, more cyclone in the South Pacific. Okay. Next, what are the reasons? So experts says that temperatures are rising because there is too much
pollution.
pollution. That's correct. Okay. And this one is the main factor that they have seen, okay, why this particular global warming that we are facing at this point in time. Okay? Okay. Now, what do you think, Sao? Do you also believe in this?
Yeah,
What do you
of
think?
course.
Okay, yes, because I think no other reason that we can be able to blame
Mm,
except pollution,
mm,
right?
yes.
Okay, pollution can be cause of throwing garbage, right?
Mm,
Throwing garbage anywhere that can also cause pollution. If we will be going to throw our garbages on the ocean or on the sea, that would also create a big problem, right?
yes.
Okay, if you're going to throw our trashes or garbages on the rivers, on the swamps, so it can also be a bigger problem. And I don't know if this one is also a problem in Vietnam's Tao, but here in the Philippines, one of
Mm,
our problems would be plastics.
plastic. Oh,
Yes,
yes. Vietnam is the same.
same problem. Yeah, because plastics cannot be actually it cannot melt, it can't melt if even
Mm,
though you are going to dump that one. It can be melt, I guess, 75 years before it will melt. Okay, so what happened if all of the canals, all of the rivers, right, had been thrown, or plastics had been thrown in there, so what would happen to them?
because plastic is so difficult to decompose.
Yes. Okay,
Mm,
it will not going to melt.
mm,
Okay, because it's difficult to decompose. That's why if you were going to throw that one anywhere, so it takes maybe 75 years before it will going to decompose on
so,
that
so
particular.
yes, so that's why in my country now, uh, the government have many programs to encourage uh,
Yes.
the industry develop green develop program.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Okay. Oh, that would be nice. Okay, that
mm,
would be nice because that can at least that can lessen, right? That can
mm,
lessen the problem of using plastics. Actually, here in the Philippines, we are encouraged to use uh paper bags instead
yes,
of plastic bags, right?
yeah,
But actually, if you were going to use a paper bags and then put which is heavy on it, it's also be a problem. It can also be a
mm,
problem.
yes,
Why? Because paper bags cannot carry heavy,
mm,
heavy things, right? Because it will going to
mm,
destroy easily. So that would be the disadvantage of using a paper bags instead of
uh,
plastics.
besides encourage the citizen use paper bag, the government will have some program to encourage the citizen to reduce the plastic bag
Yeah, yeah. Instead of
to
throwing, yeah,
yeah to
that's right.
decrease the weight of plastic into
Yes.
environment. Yes.
Yes, that's correct. Okay. Because it can also help lessen the use of the plastic. So if you went or if you buy maybe something in the supermarket and there is a plastic, you can reuse that one, right? You
Mm,
can
yes.
reuse that. You can use that one again. So that
Yes.
would be a good program of the government.
Mm, mm,
Okay?
yes.
Okay. Now there is a learning tip in here.
Mm,
Try to understand the words that are strongly stressed because these are often the most important words. Okay, in speaking, actually, you can be able to you can be able to understand the most important words if you try to listen to the stress words now.
Yes.
Okay, okay, so that would be it. Now, did you know that in the United States, temperature is measured in degrees Fahrenheit? Okay,
Mm.
so they are saying degrees Fahrenheit. But in UK, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, the temperature is measured in degrees
Yes,
Celsius
yes. Mm.
or centigrade.
Mm.
Okay. What about in Vietnam? Tao, what did you
Uh,
use?
we we use degree Celsius.
Okay, same here in the Philippines. Okay, so we
Yes.
use degrees Celsius. Okay, now water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit and 100 degrees Celsius.
Mm.
Okay, so maybe the if you want to if you're going to compute Fahrenheit and with degrees Celsius, it can also be like this, right? So
Mm.
maybe the conversion of that
Um,
212 Fahrenheit, the conversion maybe of that would be 100 degrees Celsius.
yes.
Right, Tao? Okay. So questions with that, Tao?
No.
No more. Okay. So let's go in here. So for the talking about change. So look at the sentences from the text. Talk about changes. We often use get or become, and a comparative adjective like warmer or more common.
Mm.
Okay, so like for example, when we say temperatures above 30 degrees are becoming more common. So we use the word becoming and more common. So we can also say the weather is getting
Oh.
warmer. Okay,
Mm.
now in the sentences above, Tao, what
Mm.
tense are get and become in? What do you think? What tense, okay, are get and
Uh,
become in?
continue. I don't remember the
Okay, the verb.
continuous.
Yes,
So
okay. So
uh,
that would be
for a long time,
present.
I don't know
Yes,
about the
okay.
grammar.
Actually, we can also say that that would be
Present continuous.
yes,
Uh,
present. Okay, the
okay.
present continuous form of
Okay.
the verb.
Mm.
Or simply, actually, when I was still a student, my teacher always told me this one, the ing verb, right? The
Mm.
ing form of the verb.
Yes.
Okay, and this is the present. Okay, present continuous. Continuous. Okay, present continuous form of the verb.
Mm.
Okay, so that would be it. Now, you can also use more. We can also replace the, we can also use more, huh, Tao? Or we
Mm.
can also use less. Or we can also use fewer. Okay, with nouns to describe the change. So
Mm.
more is positive, right? This one is
Mm.
positive because when we say more,
Mm.
you are going to add more. But if you're going to say less, that would be the opposite of that. Okay, fewer, that would also be the opposite of more.
Mm.
Okay, Tao. So we have the so-called positive statement, or we have the so-called the opposite of that. If it is more, the opposite of more should be less or fewer. Okay?
Mm.
Like for example, there were more cyclones this year than last year. Okay, so we use the word more. There was less snow this year. So we use less. So when we say less, that means not many, right? It's less. And then there are fewer forests. So that means it's just only can be counted, okay, because that would be only fewer. Okay,
Yes.
tao. Okay,
Yes.
next. Okay. Which of the words do you use fewer with and which do you use less with? So write them in the correct column. Okay, fewer and less. Okay, when we are going to use fewer, what are we going to understand? If we will be going to use fewer,
Countable now.
okay, countable
Nouns.
noun. Mm, is it countable noun or uncountable nouns?
Countable now. You use fewer.
Fewer for countable
Now.
nouns.
Yes.
Okay? Okay. Let's try, huh? Countable nouns. So when we are talking about countable nouns, nouns that can be counted, right? We can count that one. But if we are going to use less, where do we use less?
Like for uncountable now. Uncountable.
Yes. Okay. So less is for uncountable nouns. So these uncountable nouns are nouns that cannot be counted. Like for example, liquid, water, gasoline, right? Rice, because there would be no plural form of that, right? Now, so like for example, when you say flood, so flood is is okay, flood can is it a flood can be countable or uncountable noun?
Flood.
Okay, actually floods can be countable. Okay, because it's flood, but the water, the water cannot
Uncountable.
be counted. Yes. So, but if we were going to say floods, so there will be floods in there. Okay, so it can be counted because maybe we can say, oh, there's only one flood in that particular country. Okay, so floods. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Now, fewer can be used to cars, right? Now, or what else aside from cars?
Flood.
Okay, floods,
Aeroplane.
floods, and then yes, airplanes. Yeah, because we can count airplanes.
Airplane.
Yeah, actually, in London, they spell this one as aeroplane, right?
Yes.
But in American English, it's airplane. Okay. Airplane and aeroplane is just only one sound.
That
Okay.
one.
Okay. Next, what
Yes.
else? And we have,
That on for fewer.
oh, we still have one. That would be,
Far.
there's another. That would be fires.
Fire.
Yes.
Why?
Fires. Fires can be fewer fires. Okay. The Yeah, because if we are going to talk all about something like a fire, oh look at this, ha, Sao. Why is it it uses S? Okay? There's an S in here. There's an S in here. There's an
Oh.
S in here because it
Oh.
can be pluralized, right?
Oh.
Okay? So, yes. Now, less uncountable
Ice.
noun, we cannot pluralize that one. So there is no plural on that particular thing. So
Get
first
ice.
one, yes. We don't have ices, right? It's just only ice. Okay, what else?
Pollution.
Yes, pollution. Okay,
rain,
pollution. And then we have rain. Yeah, we cannot count the rain. And then we have,
energy.
yes, okay. So energy cannot be counted also. Okay? How? So that would
Yes.
be it, huh? So in using fewer, remember in using fewer tau, we
Yes.
have to use that one,
S.
huh? Yes, with the S in it.
Mm,
Okay? So airplanes. Okay, fires. But for the less, we don't use an S. Okay? Now, there's a note in here, Tao. We use less with, it's there already, uncountable words, and fewer with countable words. But sometimes in spoken English, you will hear less used with all nouns. Or
mm,
sometimes in spoken, when you say spoken
mm,
tao, in speaking, you
mm.
can also hear less that can be used with all nouns in speaking.
Okay.
Okay? But maybe in writing, we don't see that one.
Mm,
Okay?
mm.
Okay, let's proceed. So sound smart, stressing important information. Let's try to listen to some questions asked in the text. In its question, the most important information is stress. Which word has the strongest stress? Underline one word in its sentence. Let's try to listen.
Recording 67. A.
So what's causing all this?
B.
Are these changes due to global warming?
C.
Are we causing these problems?
Okay. So, what do you think would be the words in here that are strongly stressed? Okay, in
Mm.
letter A,
Causing.
yes. So, what's causing all this? And letter B,
G. G.
in letter B, or are these changes due to global warming? So, that would be
Okay.
warming tau. Okay,
Wrong.
yes. And then, are we causing these problems? So what is
Causing.
the stress? Okay, actually, it's we. How?
Mm.
Yes. Oh, let's try to listen again, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Recording 67. A.
So what's causing all this?
Mm,
B.
Are these changes due to global warming?
okay. Warming.
C.
Are we causing these problems?
Oh, are we causing this problem? So there is the so-called a little stop. Okay, we can hear in there. Okay, Tao. Okay. Now, in number two, here are some other sentences from the text. For each sentence, underline the words which you think have the strongest stress. Okay?
Yes.
So it's difficult to work from the text. For each sentence, underline the words which you think have the strongest stress. It's difficult to work. So what do you think? So when we are going to, let's say, for example, Tao, if we are going to say them, okay, which do you think would be the words that have the strongest stress? If we try to say them, do you have in it in there? Okay, number one, actually, it was already underlined. So difficult and then the work, right? Okay, what about in letter B? It's difficult to sleep. Again, Tao. I can't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
The s-
okay.
the s- the same letter A difficult, sleep
And
and
yes,
sleep.
okay. Difficult and then sleep. Okay, next. What about letter C? It's causing health problems.
Causing
Yes, causing and
problem.
actually it's health. Okay, causing
Causing health.
health problems. Okay, it's causing health problems. Okay, yeah, so it should be health. Okay, and causing. Next, in letter D, in Antarctica, the ice is melting.
Melting.
Okay, the other one,
Other one. The ice.
okay, ice. Okay, and then the earth is getting hotter.
Hotter. Get,
And
getting. The
yes, okay. What is this particular thing that's getting hotter? It's the earth, right? So the earth is getting hotter. Okay, next, letter F. We've heard about the floods in India.
flood.
Okay, it's just only floods. Okay, so we heard about the floods in India. Okay,
Mm.
ah, yeah, just a while ago, right? We heard about this one during the audio presentation. Okay, okay. Now let's try to listen and check our answers. So let's try to listen again, Tao, if that would be correct.
Recording 68. A,
It's difficult to work.
B,
It's difficult to sleep.
Okay,
C,
It's causing health problems.
D,
In Antarctica, the ice is melting.
E,
The Earth is getting hotter.
F.
We've heard about the floods in India.
okay, okay. So that would be it, Tao.
Mm.
Okay, can we practice saying this one, Tao, with proper stress? Okay,
Mm.
can you say it's difficult to work?
It's difficult to work.
Okay, good.
Uh, it's difficult to sleep.
Correct.
It's causing health problems.
Yes.
In Antarctica, the ice is melting.
Okay,
The earth is getting hotter.
correct.
We've heard about the flood in India.
Very good. Okay, so you were able to stress
Mm.
the words correctly. Okay, now for the speak up activity in here, let's talk about the changes in summer and winter in your country over the last 10 years. Example A, you were going to say summer is getting hotter or winter is getting colder.
Mm.
Okay, now, okay, so in letter B, so how are we going to say that?
The summer is getting longer,
Okay, and or
or winter is getting shorter.
okay, winter is getting shorter.
Shorter.
Okay, that's correct. So I have to
Mm.
write that one. So summer is getting getting longer, or okay, winter is getting shorter.
Mm.
Okay, so I have to put that one small. Okay, now what about in letter C?
Summer is getting colder, or winter is getting warmer. No, 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 no.
Okay. Okay,
Okay, okay.
so
We
winter
winter
is
is
getting
getting colder.
colder. Or we can also
Summer.
say summer
Summer is getting warmer.
warmer. Very good. That's correct. Okay. What
Summer.
about in letter D?
Letter D.
We can say that
Summer
summer.
is starting earlier.
Okay. Or
Winter is
starting
is starting later.
later. Yes.
Oh,
Okay. Or in letter E,
uh,
summer. Okay. What do you think?
wait, more.
So, what do you think? There is more or less rain. What do you think? So, there is more rain
More
in
in winter
winter. Okay. Okay. So, there is more rain in winter. Can we
and
say there
there is
is
less
less rain
rain
in
in summer.
summer? Yes, right?
Uh,
Sometimes it's rain, but sometimes it's just only, let's say, for the whole period of summer, it's just only once, right? Sometimes. So there is less rain in summer. Okay, next in letter F, there
there
are
more
storms
in winter,
in winter. And
and
there
there's fewer
is, or there are
fe-
fewer
there are fewer storm
storms
in
in
summer.
the summer. Okay, so that would be it now, right? Okay, so that is how we can be able to talk about the changes in the summer and winter in our country. But of course, we have also to, what is one? To use the proper, or the, let's say for example, if in your country, if the summer is getting longer or winter is getting shorter, so you can also use this description. Okay, so, or let's say for example, if the summer is starting earlier, okay, you can also use that. Or if the summer is getting later, so you can also use that. Okay, so
Yes.
okay, next. Describe any other changes in the weather in your country recently using the skills that we had learned now. How? So how are we going to describe? Okay, recently, this yeah, this the maybe this week, within this week or last week.
Mm,
So how are we going to say that? You said it's going to rain, right? It's
yes.
about yeah, it's going to rain. So how are you going to say that? So there, there are
More.
okay. Ah, there is
There is more
more
rain
rain in
in
okay. What particular
a place.
season? Yeah, season
Uh,
of in Vietnam now. Is it rainy season?
not yet.
Not yet. So it's about, right? So how are we going to say that? So there is more rain, okay, during, how are we going to say that? During rainy season, right? We can also
Yes.
say that. So there is more rain in or during the rainy season,
Mm,
right, Tao?
yes.
What do you think? Okay. Or aside from that, how are you going to say? Uh, there are
More
more,
hotter. No.
more storms,
Mm,
or what are you going to say? Or uh, um, the rainy season starting earlier
mm,
You can also say that, right? So the
Yeah.
rainy season starting earlier, right?
Mm. Mm.
Okay, so we can also say that one now. Okay, so that is how you can also describe Tao. Okay, now let's try to choose three of the topics below and make sentences to describe the situation in your country. Use more, less, fewer, or get or become plus ER. Okay? ER means comparative, right, Tao? So comparative degree of adjective. Okay. So example, there are more hospitals now. Or you can also say mobile phones are getting smaller. Okay, so
Mm.
let's try to choose three topics in here. What are you going to choose, Tao? Okay, first, what word you are going to choose that we will going to describe?
Hospital.
Okay, hospitals. Okay. Then the second one,
Unemployment.
unemployment. And then the last one,
It's up to you for the last one.
okay. Can we use education? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Can we try to describe them now? So how are you going to say that? Or let's try to describe first unemployment. So how are you
Ah,
going to say that?
hospital is already. For
It's
example.
okay. It's
Oh.
okay. It's okay. You can use your own, right? You can use your own. Okay?
Okay. In my
Okay.
city nowadays,
There
pri-
are
there are more private hospital
more. Yes. See, there are more private hospitals than,
than
okay, you can also compare, right? Hospitals than
5 years ago.
public.
Uh,
Okay, right? Public
mm,
hospitals. Right now. Oh, that's
yes.
this one is very true actually. Okay. So, oh, that would be nice, huh? Why? There are a lot or there are more private hospitals than public hospitals, but actually it's very expensive, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Private hospitals are very expensive actually, but the services are good, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, next. What about when we say unemployment
Uh, After COVID pandemic,
after COVID or after pandemic? Okay,
unemployment,
after pandemic,
unemployed, the
there,
unemployment
there,
status.
okay, there is, maybe we can say there is, or we can say, oh,